Welcome everybody. It's Name Presents Flight School with your boy Nathan Driz Johnson. I am calling names and I'm glad that you guys are in class today. We are in this series. I believe this is part 4 of the new series from 9 to 5 to full-time artists. Right? Many times there's a lot of things in this world that people don't show you the steps to, and I think a lot of us we know what to do when we blow up, when we are, you know, signed. We know kind of like what to do. But it's like, what happens if you're not signed and you still want to be a full time artist? Is this possible? And the answer is yes. So I created this series, and this chapter and this part of the series is called Exit. We called it an exit plan, which the whole series is just that, you know what I'm saying? So we're understanding in itself like what we need, you know what I'm saying? We talked about like the supply and the demand of like what you have and the branding part of it, the product of it, all this is like the structure. We're talking about the consumer, understanding your consumer. That was in the last one. We're talking about how you just need 3,000, ride the door die hardcore fans. And we talked about their journey, and we talked about how the connection with your music and their product and your product and how that all comes together. Talked about how to get those fans, whatever it takes, you know what I'm saying? And we talked about all that, right? So we're in a place now where we're saying the exit plan, and the part of the exit plan is retention, right? Retention is so important because I think a lot of times, and we're coming at it from the business aspects of it, and by all means, you know what I'm saying, if you guys don't want to deal with this part about it, the retention spot, hire somebody. Hire somebody. You can hire me, to just get your hands in that, allow somebody else to get your hands in it, and you can go on and focus on the music. But if you're gonna DIY it, you know what I'm saying, this is for you. This is for those indie artists and those indie record labels. And like if you need somebody to do marketing, you know what I'm saying, like I'm here. But if you want to DIY it, I'm here as well too, and that's what this is all about. So we're talking about the retention, right? So because I feel like we can get new people. Like some of us, we might have heard everything. We heard the last series, and we checked out the last couple of videos, and now we're getting fans, right? We're getting fans left to right, or maybe we haven't, and we put our music out there, and it's streaming uncontrollably, and your social medias are blowing up, and everything. You're getting hundreds of thousands of millions of followers, right? Either or, and you're like, man, I just got this ultimate success. But I think it is something else to get that success. It's another thing to maintain it. Just like when you're in the gym, it's another strength to pick up those weights, right? So you picked them up because some people can't even lift them off the ground, but you've conditioned your body enough to lift those weights off the ground, right? So you got them in the air, and that's victory. But it takes a whole nother layer of victory to hold them, right? That's when you got to put them in the air and keep them up there for a long time, and you start getting a little shaky. You start getting a little shaky, right? You know what I'm saying? You might have to put them down, you know what I'm saying? Because you've conditioned to lift, but not to hold. And retention is all about holding, right? So how are we holding those new fans, right? The same thing with a relationship. Like you got the dream girl, you got the dream guy, but how are you maintaining? How are you holding this relationship, right? It's the same thing with your fans. How are you holding your fans? Because people's attention spans are butterfly, you know what I'm saying? Sunshine, rain, you know what I'm saying? Like they're so, it's so quick and so small. So it's just like they could have loved your song and you blowing up, but now they're on to the next artist. You know what I'm saying? Because they have now consumed your song or your album, and they drunk it up just like, the juice in the house, right? And I only say that because I have a daughter. I have, 2 liters of pop. She loves pop. I didn't even so I make sure it's in a refrigerator, right? And there was a brand new soda bottle in there, you know what I'm saying? And I forget what flavor. Let's say it was strawberry, you know what I'm saying? Strawberry pop in there. She It only took her maybe 2 hours to get through that. You're like, I didn't even have any. You know what I'm saying? I didn't even have any. You know what I'm saying? My daughter went through and she just like drunk the whole thing up within 2 or 3 hours. Sip, 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 sip. And it was gone. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't something that she felt for the longevity of thing. It was temporary. And the whole thing about this is not to make your branding or your music or your artistry temporary. It's supposed to give it longevity. And we're going to talk about even more of that in the next chapter, you know what I'm saying, the next video, because that's what you want. In the next one, I you know one of the reasons why I wanted to make a part of that, a part 5, and talk about the longevity in this career, because that's what you're aiming with. You're not trying to leave your 9 to 5 today and go back in about 6 months. You know what I'm saying? So these next 2 lessons are very crucial for you guys to learn, so you can have longevity in it, so that people don't see your music as temporary. They don't like allow it to make them dance for a day, but they want to fall in love with who you are, you know what I'm saying, and your artistry and your brand, so that they're becoming those lifelong fans. So we spoke a lot about that in our last one. And like I said before, we want to talk about retention here. We want to talk about, I said the first one is, and if you guys are taking notes, so make sure you do that, is don't lose your connection once the thrill is gone. You know what I'm saying? Because we have these whole rollout types of things in which we put our music out there, and maybe your fans heard you on TikTok and they now follow you. You know what I'm saying? They now follow you on TikTok. You know what I'm saying? Maybe they heard you and now they follow you on your email list. You know what I'm saying? Maybe on your Spotify. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, now what? You know what I'm saying? Because if you think that they're just going to stick around, like I said, that could be neither here or there. So it's like, once the newness, because a lot of people, they just like new. You know what I'm saying? They just like new. And because of you're only they could see you only in their world for a temporary part of time, they're on to the next thing, and they're not even thinking about your posts. And a lots of these things, and the whole thing with social media, or a lot of social media, is like, if you don't engage, if people stop engaging into your posts, then the social media platform stops showing them these things, right? They stop showing them these things. And when they do this, then your post stops being relevant to them. So the next time, and that's why we really want you to understand retention, is because you're going to have another album coming out. You're going to have another song come out, and you don't want to lose your momentum. And retention helps you to keep your win. It keeps your momentum going, so that you stay relevant to them. You know what I'm saying? But if they don't act with your posts, they don't look at your posts or click on it, the social media platform, the TikTok, the IG, the Facebook, they say, oh, they're not interested. You know what I'm saying? So let me show them something else, because the algorithm works for itself. It's not working for you all the time. It works for itself because it's trying to keep listeners and viewers and stuff, followers on the platform. So if your stuff does it, then it's going to push more to it. You know what I'm saying? But once you slow up, you might lose the algorithm and the fire behind it. You don't want to do that. So you don't want to lose the thrill of it all. You know what I'm saying? When it's all said and done, because you pushed it and you rolled it out on social media. So my thinking is this. I think I spoke about this, but I'm going to speak about this again. So you want to get your people off of social media. You got two choices. What I say it. If you gather them by social media, you want to get them off social media and onto your email list. You know what I'm saying? Or if you're on IG, get them onto your broadcast channel. Right? You can do that as well too. Put them on there, send them an invite to it, and put them on there. That way you can always contact them. That way you're in charge, because you always have to remember that social media is like getting an apartment, right? Like, it's not yours. And the rent's always going up. You know what I'm saying? And you got to pay it. You know what I'm saying? But it's not yours. You know what I'm saying? So you pay for something that you rent. You're not going to have your place all the time. But if you buy a house, you own that after a while. After paying it so much, you own it. It's yours. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to pay on it anymore. And that's it. But with social media, we will always have to put in for running ads and getting more attention and doing some other crazy to get those eyeballs back on what you need, because like like I said before, you're renting it. Um, a couple years ago, I think 2 years ago, TikTok went dark. You know what I'm saying? So it's like if you're going to, your fans are everything. You know what I'm saying? So it's like they are paying for you to do this thing full time because they believe in you so much. So if you need access to them at all costs, why would you leave that out there? You know what I'm saying? If you know that that's how your bills are being paid. You know what I'm saying? You can't afford that. So if you IG, get them into a broadcast channel. If you're not, get them on your email list, right? So after you promoted your song, you're fired up and stuff like that. Do a video out there and say, "Hey, join my email list," and then you can always give some incentives of why. And we're going to get into that in a minute. Um, but like I said, so those are the things. Those are the three things that I wanted to talk about with that. And I want to specifically go into email retention because, like we left as social media people, as artists, I should say, the email list in the 90s. You know what I'm saying? Maybe early 2000. But I always say, like I said before, email list is so important. So you need to start stacking up and you need to start paying attention. I think we put a lot of energy into putting out social media stuff, our songs out there, for the attention and awareness. But those who are already fans, how are we treating those? You know what I'm saying? Because it's like we spend a lot of money getting new fans, as post, social media workers and everything like that. But it's like once you have them, what are you feeding them? And I have three things that you should probably feed your fans that you already have, because like it's like everybody likes a shiny new toys, but it's like once you're yours, how you staying connected. So once the thriller of the new song and album is over with, how you connect, you're connected in three ways, or doing, or you're connecting in three types of things that you can do it with. You can do bonuses, right? A bonus song, a bonus feature, a bonus video, a bonus merch. You can now give them access to. These are people that's on either your broadcast channel or your email list, because you want to keep them engaged with you, so it's not so much harder to connect with them around next time. So you're sending a bonus to them. You know what I'm saying? Like, here's your bonus. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you're sending a discount on some merch to them, promoting some discounted merch. Yo, we just got off the tour. This is what it is. You know what I'm saying? We're keeping them engaged, with merch, or we're keeping them engaged with new information. You know what I'm saying? We were touring out in Ireland. You know what I'm saying? Here is the playback from that. You know what I'm saying? It's all made possible by you guys. Or we're doing thank you videos. You know what I'm saying? We once again, it's all this all came together because of you guys, because of you guys where we're able to then donate money here or there. You know what I'm saying? Updates, you know what I'm saying? Bonuses, songs, discount codes to merch, doubling down on the message of the project or who you are, right? So if it is the case that it was about heartbreak, you know what I'm saying, you go into something, maybe you didn't more go into more depth on the message of the project in itself. You know what I'm saying? Take another chapter to it, allow people to connect with a journaling message that you guys are doing. So maybe now you have core pillars to the message of now living the love. What did you learn? You know what I'm saying, through the process of all this. You know what I'm saying? So almost a journaling, but doubling down more on the message in itself. You know what I'm saying? And once again, how they can connect with it as well too. You know what I'm saying? Like now that all this has happened, here's what I've learned. Follow me in my day-to-day journey on the brand and how it can help you at this point. Now that the song is done, remixes. I'm not sure if I said that. Forgive me if I hadn't, but like you have now went into the studio and you did a remix on one of the new songs, uh, uh, that maybe on maybe your third single that you put out. So this thing is all over with, and you found out that your most popular song is your third song you put out, and you put a remix towards it, and now you put that out as a bonus. You know what I'm saying? Or you're selling it, off the list, because I feel like It's like once you go fishing, you got to clean and cook the fish that you have, So you are now maintaining them with messages, with bonuses, with remixes, the discount codes. All of these are on your email list, the people who join your email list or your broadcast channel. You're polling them, because of like what city, that you should go to next on your next touring. You know what I'm saying? Or what song? Like we said, it was the third one, but maybe you did a whole album and you're polling them on those songs as well too, or the music videos. Which one was your favorite music video? But you do polls. You know what I'm saying? Keeping them engaged is super super important. I think going back through and understanding your brand, you know what I'm saying, once the aftermath is and the retention is, to connect with them that much more. It is a thing of like promoting the song, but then you can go back through and like promote the brand in itself. Like the brand is the once again the consistent message of what you're trying to do and how you're trying to do it, but in a way that you now exhaust it. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the flip apart about this. I'm going to use two companies and for examples of this. And then you can also put a theme onto this. So you're almost like repackaging the rollout and not just reheating it, but repackaging it now for the email. You know what I'm saying? For the broadcast channels. For those things to really stay connected. And yeah, so I want to use two examples. I love Hershey chocolate, and we're talking about brands, and how brands exhaust all their messaging, all in the one thing. Because you got to think about like lots of these companies, Hershey is doing one thing. You know what I'm saying? It has a recipe on chocolate, and it said, now that we sold you 100, Hershey bars, right? And like Hershey's bars, it's just they have their thing of just having a pure chocolate that people like this pure chocolate formula. You can get it that. Now they want like they can put it with peanut butter. Now they can put it, in a wafer. You know what I'm saying? There's so many different ways. Now they can make it larger, they can make it smaller. So you got miniatures, you know what I'm saying? They now put it in kisses. But it's the same Hershey formula that's just done different ways. You know what I'm saying? Now they'll put it in syrup, you know what I'm saying? Hershey syrup. They have now put it in desserts. You know what I'm saying? Exhaust your message, not just sonically, merch wise. You know what I'm saying? Make sure that you do that, uh, uh, and just like visually, written way. Did you put it in book form? Did you put it in edible form? Did you put it on, clothing form? Have you did all this within your messaging? Because not just don't just keep it in song form, but put it in every type of way that a person can connect with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, did you make any skits behind it? You know what I'm saying? Like all types of ways. Because, like I said, Hershey was in all types of ways. So that's what you need to do for your message. Because now it's not just about the song, it's about the message of the song or message of you, your story, behind it. Have you exhausted it by putting it in like edible forms and material forms and spiritual forms? Have you exhausted the theology about your music and why you created it? Have you put that out? Have you put videos connected into that? Because we put a lot just specifically in the song category to do the rollout of 30-day content. Because of those who don't know, lots of times we promote a song by doing a 30-minute, not 30-minute, but 30-day content. Some people, they take it even more. They say, post 60, 90 different ways, different pieces of content around one song or an album or your brand and stuff like that. Well, you're so busy, I think, when you're rolling out doing all three of those things, that maybe you don't do enough on just the brand itself, which is the messaging. I remember I was working with a group, and I said, it just seems like your brand is a brand that speaks about a place that you guys can create, that your music is a safe space for people to be genuinely who they are. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, as you are like creating your songs and stuff like that, think about once that album is over, how you can still create that and how people can still have that. How does that feel like? Maybe that is how why people come to the concert. Maybe you put merch around that, the ideology around that. You work that, you get testimonies around that. Like every types of ways that you can possibly put your brand in. You know, you want to do it. Just like Hershey. I think another big thing was like Bath and Body Works. Like your boy liked to smell good. You know what I'm saying? And so I remember I was in the shopping for some new colognes. Yeah. And that's because I went on this last date, not now, but it was years ago. My thing was like I liked man, what was that? It was like some spray on deodorant. I forget the name of it right now. Axe. So there was this Axe stuff that I used to wear a lot of the time. And it was a good smell that girls was like, oh, I like that and stuff like so I kept rocking it. I rocked it all until I ran into this one girl and she was like, oh, you smell like my son, because it was Axe body, spray. You know what I'm saying? It was for their demo was for like teenagers and 20 something year olds. So I was like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Makes sense. But it was like, I smell like her son, you know what I'm saying? Like that kills the mood right there. And so I remember getting out on Facebook and I was like, yo, somebody nominate some colognes for me, and out there once again, because I needed to know something and I was like, let me test it. And so people told me, they was like, yo, you need to, go to um Bath and Body Works. You know what I'm saying? They got a really great selection for men's. I was like, I thought that was just women, for women. And it was like, no, they have a men's section there. Once again, they took some smell goods for women and they said, okay, we're going to have our men's section. Okay, we're going to turn it into candles. Because when I got there, that's what it was. They were like, okay, we're going to turn it into deodorant. You know what I'm saying? Every way to smell good, they had it. We're gonna put it in some lotions. We're gonna for the men's. We're gonna put it in some aftershave. You know what I'm saying? Like every way, and then they even have bags that you can carry it with. Once again, exhaust your brand after the fact. Because once you do that, then when you start the next song, the next thing, you have merch. You know what I'm saying? And you have more stuff to kind of give out to your newer fans. But now you kind of gave it to your old fans, and old fans, you can kind of like test it and experiment with it to see what works good for them, what does it. You know what I'm saying? Because they've already locked in who you are. You know what I'm saying? They've already walked through the funnel, and they've converted. You know what I'm saying? And now they're in the loyalty stage with you. So they know they rock with you. So it's a easier sell for them. But understanding how you gotta exhaust your brand after it. Because you can't do all that because you doing shows, you trying to tour, you trying to post content, you rock your team, connect with your team. You may not have that time. But like after everything is over with, after the final curtain call for your music, and as an artist, you can focus on then taking a break and then promoting the brand. You know what I'm saying? Too, because when you are going through and you're collecting this hard, but once you have it, you have to now do a little bit slower. You know what I'm saying? Now that people who are connected, you can look to see how many people will join your email list, how many people are in your broadcast list. You know what I'm saying? And like you want to look at those numbers. Yeah, you want to see how many streams or followers on Spotify or and Facebook and TikTok and all the that's great. But you really, like I said, you want to bring them close. Bring them close, y'all. Okay. Um, while you are doing this, I want to give you guys a couple of tools that can help you with this whole thing of like your while you're out there, or maybe the after effect, right? So your song is done, maybe in like I said before, but you want to know what to pull people in. So maybe you're doing a jump on my email list and I'll give you this type of thing, right? You can use Bandcamp. Bandcamp is really dope for that, right? Putting up that link, to say, yo, follow this link, click on this link. Um, and it will give you, my single for this amount of money or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Not money, but it'll give you. I mean, well, I don't know what I'm thinking, y'all, but it will give you the free single if you give me your email address. That's what I wanted to say, right? So you got a couple of tools because maybe you say I need a tool to gain people's and gather people's email address. Well, you can do that with Bandcamp. I also like Bandcamp because you can do a listening party, a virtual listening party with your fans on Bandcamp. You can also sell directly to your fans on Bandcamp. So I'm always a big believer in making sure you have a Bandcamp page, right? Another one that helps you do that is MailChimp. It's pretty straightforward, you know what I'm saying? I think it just does that, and then you can build some stuff around it. Excuse me, you have a bunch of cool features with it, but those are my two draws for that. But there's another site called Groover, and I love Groover as well too because on Groover you can pay to send out your song or your music video to a bunch of people. You know what I'm saying? Whether that's podcasters, labels, media, just in all types of ways. And I've been using this tool to help my clients build their email list. You know what I'm saying? Because they can send you can send it out to them and they can get in contact with you and they can say, here's my email list. You know what I'm saying? Or here's my email address for the email list. So I really like Groover for that because we were able to get like connected, like I said, to all these media forms, including people on DJs across the world. So if you are trying to boost up and have connections and start your email list, you want to grow a Groover. It's cheap. It's a great way of just like building with different people. I think bloggers on there as well too. So check out Groover. That's a really good tool. Another thing is constant contact, which I love this because once again, it's a good way of like doing one of those like give me your email, I'll send you my new song for free. But it also works really good for your email list as a whole. So once you get you connect it with your email address and stuff, and you can do email blasts through this, which is really cool. They have some really great features to make sure that your emails look professional. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of this is email marketing, which, like I said, if you need some help, you know what I'm saying, slide into your DMs. I can always help you with that. But like, also they have a segment list because let's say that you can use, and this is what I was doing. So I'm just giving you guys cheat codes. Like I would go to Groover to get to build my DJ list, to find new DJs to put for my client, podcasters to put in for my clients, people with networks and media, you know what I'm saying, maybe bloggers. So we found all those people and we sent them a song and they gave us the email address. And then I would go to contact, consistent contact, and put them all in there. But then I would segment them. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I would have a list of DJs here. Would do a list of like say labels here. I would do a list of like interviewers here. I would do a list of bloggers here, and that way I can send a email to all of them, or maybe just the DJs. You know what I'm saying? So before the next, when we are like giving out new singles, I was like, this list, this email just goes to the DJs. This email just goes to the labels. This email just goes to the blog writers. You know what I'm saying? So it was really cool to be able to like make different lists, you know what I'm saying, with this tool. Must have tool. Make sure you guys get that and segment your stuff because you want to organize it and make sure everything comes in really clear and stuff. Um, my suggestion is you want to now that you're off the road, now it's not heavy, of like after you drop in your album, you're not just pushing your single every day or doing a 30-day rollout. Do it twice a month. Anything where to 2 to 3 times a month. Stay in contact with your people. You know what I'm saying? So you can do that with a couple different ways. There's a couple different emails. You can do a welcome email, you can do a newsletter, you can do a promotional email. Acquisition email is one of those emails too. Like maybe you have some people that's still on the fence about who you are. You send them these types of emails, and basically, They just say they were one of those things of just like stay connected. You know what I'm saying? Is helping people to get awareness of you. You know what I'm saying? And convincing more people of you. And we can go back and how you write a really good one of those as well too. But yeah, the Inquisition, the welcome, the newsletter, promotion, these are all emails that help you retain stuff. Of course, like the newsletters that help people updates and stuff like that. Promotion, you got new stuff. You know what I'm saying? The welcome. You want to thank people for being on your list. You know what I'm saying? So you got different types of forms of emails that you want to list out. You know what I'm saying? And 2 to 3 times a month, you want to say, hey, this is the news. Hey, this is the merch. Hey, this is the single review. You know what I'm saying? Hey, this is the music video as you are staying connected. You know what I'm saying? So there's little ways of doing, and like I said before, understanding how you can break content even down from your brand and where you are is super important. If you want me to do a separate video on that, I can do a separate video on that. Because at the end of the day, you want to connect people with the fact that you're selling them in your list and keeping them around in your list with exclusivity. Ah, yes, I was able to say the word. To and slash subscriptions. You know what I'm saying? Like you want to get people connected with your lifestyle, but stuff that you may not see on your social media. You know what I'm saying? Which is blog rights, new blog rights on your singles that haven't been pushed. You know what I'm saying? Um, Shout outs, some meet and greets. I'm back seeing concert reviews, you know what I'm saying, on the show. First listens, first look. All these are contents, you know what I'm saying? Um, Interviews that you might not have put on social media. You want to give people a reason to stay connected with you via the email and the broadcast journey. Broadcasting on Instagram, So these are like for those who are decided to give you these things. And then you can get a subscription too, and that's even more stuff. We won't get into that today, but the thing about it is you want to treat your fans good, some of the free stuff. And then you want to think about subscriptions, which people can now, pay for different levels that you can give them to connect it with your social medias, and we can go over like how we want to write that, but because you now have them on your email list, now it's another place for you to stay connected, but also you can fish. You know what I'm saying? So you're showing some merch, but you're also giving them like some subscriptions, and in those subscriptions, you're giving them some stuff that you're on some exclusives as well too. All right, so we have all of that, right? I think it's really important to stay connected. Like I said, but that is a big part of this journey, right? That's going to help you because we need them. We need them. Without them, there is no us, right? So it is important so that we contain them, and we hold on to them, so that we're not gaining 50 new fans, but the next time that we put our music out, we only have 10 that's paying attention to us. You're going to have to work at this. You're going to have to put out those videos and stuff like that. You're going to have to pay attention to your email list. There's a lot to keep up with, but this is the job of the full-time artist, right? Until you're able to pay somebody to do your email marketing, because this is what we're pretty much doing here. This is what you're going to do every day, but this is going to keep you connected with your customer, right? As people are doing this, you want to learn birthdays, you want to learn anniversaries, you want to learn about your customers. And we said that in the other one before. Why? Because you want to be personable. You know what I'm saying? You want to send personable emails. You want to make sure that your emails look professional. You want to be able to even put something in there in which you can hear back from your fans, and maybe you're doing that, like I want to hear back from my fans about X, Y, and Z. You're putting videos out there and you're doing email blasters about that, because the more they feel seen by you, the more they're going to feel connected by you. And that's how we can get this personal touch going on with artists to consumer, artists to fan, and to make them know that they are important, they are loved, and they are seen. One thing I really love, my girlfriend, I'll end it with this. My girlfriend, she's a hairdresser. right? And so her clientele, she has been years upon years about building on what I'm building with. And with her, she knows her business. Lots of her business came from word of mouth, and we talk about social listening and stuff like that. But a lot of times, what I love about her is like she will have generational customers, right? Which means the mama would come in, the daughter would come in, and the grandmama would come in, to get their hair done all at the same time, right? Because one customer led to another one, which led to another one. You know what I'm saying? And with the fact that we are talking about longevity, it will be amazing, to see that happen if we do this right with your consumers as well too. That your music and your brand stands the test of time, right? I hope this helped. I am Nathan Driz Johnson. I am you guys' personal marketing and branding specialist. Class is dismissed. Blessings.